Let me tell you what happens when a mechanic walks through a used car lot. They don't see what you see. They don't see badge prestige. They don't see leather interiors or panoramic roofs. They see engines. They see parts commonality. They see which cars come into their bay broken and which ones they never see at all. And when mechanics spend their own money, they don't buy what the internet recommends. They buy what they never have to fix. Today on Carverse, 6 secret luxury cars under $10,000 that only mechanics know about. Not the cars everyone talks about. The ones the pros buy for themselves when they want reliability, comfort, and zero drama. Most people think luxury under $10,000 is a financial trap. They see the badge and run. They've heard the horror stories, German repair bills, air suspension failures, electronics nightmares, and they walk straight past the cars that mechanics specifically choose for themselves. Because those cars don't have the scary reputation. They just have the engineering. We're going behind the garage door right now. Hit subscribe before we start, because what you're about to learn changes every used car search you'll ever do. Car number 6, Volvo XC70 T6, 2009 to 2013. The bulletproof Swede. Why nobody wants it? People see Volvo wagon and file it under boring family transportation. Zero excitement, zero YouTube coverage. Sits completely ignored while mechanically inferior alternatives sell faster on visual appeal alone. What mechanics actually know, the 3.0-liter inline-6 B6304T is Volvo's finest turbocharged engine. Commercial-grade internals specified by Volvo's safety engineering culture to handle conditions normal driving never approaches. Parts commonality with Ford-era Volvo applications keeps pricing accessible, not exotic. DIY-friendly engine bay. Logical repair procedures, documented failure modes, specific failures and how to check. 2 items. Mechanics verify immediately. First, turbocharger oil feed line condition. Inspect for cracking or seepage at line connections. Inexpensive proactively, expensive if ignored. Second, PCV system on higher mileage examples. Check for oil consumption symptoms. Haldex all-wheel drive coupling fluid is frequently neglected by previous owners. Confirm service history on this specifically. A mechanic checks it in 2 minutes. Most buyers never think to ask. Status math, new, $45,000 plus. Now, $7,000 to $9,500. Carverse goes behind the garage door and brings back what professionals already know. Hit subscribe right now and hit the bell. Car number 5, Infiniti G37, 2009 to 2013. The hidden Japanese prince. Why nobody wants it? Every Japanese luxury buyer goes straight to Lexus. The G37, what mechanics privately call the Japanese BMW, gets completely bypassed. Falls through every buyer pool at prices that make no mechanical sense. What mechanics actually know, the VQ37 VHR 3.7-liter naturally aspirated V6 is shared directly with the Nissan 370Z. Built for track abuse that luxury sedan driving never approaches. Diagnosis is immediate. Failure modes are rare. Parts pricing reflects Nissan's mass market volumes, not Infiniti badge premiums. Rear-wheel drive dynamics that genuinely compete with the BMW 3 Series, without the repair bill that exceeds the purchase price. Specific failures and how to check. Check valve cover gasket condition. Look for oil seepage along the perimeter at higher mileage. Inexpensive at any Nissan independent. Confirm rear differential fluid service history. Neglected rear differentials are the most common expensive surprise on high-mileage G37S. A mechanic checks this in 60 seconds. Status math. New, $42,000 plus. Now, $8,000 to $10,000. Car number 4, Buick LaCrosse, 2011 to 2013. The luxury truck in a suit. Why nobody wants it? Badge perception. Full stop. Younger buyers won't consider it. Enthusiasts dismiss it. The invisibility that kills it commercially is the same invisibility that creates the buying opportunity. What mechanics actually know, the 3.6-liter LFX naturally aspirated V6 appears across the entire GM North American lineup simultaneously. Parts available at every auto parts retailer nationally at mass market pricing. Any mechanic in North America knows this engine without looking anything up. Buick's quiet tuning acoustic engineering delivers genuine highway isolation that imports at twice the price don't consistently match. Specific failures and how to check. Oil change interval discipline is non-negotiable on the LFX. Extended intervals cause accelerated timing chain wear. Ask specifically about service frequency. No documented consistent intervals on a high mileage example. Walk away or price a timing chain service into your offer. Check power steering rack for fluid seepage, known wear item at higher mileage, visible underhood, inexpensive repair at any GM independent. Status math, new, $38,000 plus. Now, $6,500 to $9,000. Drop your answer in the comments. If a mechanic offered to sell you their personal daily driver, no badge, no history, just trust me, it's reliable. Would you buy it? Which car on this list do you think they actually drive? Car number 3, Acura TL, 2009 to 2014. The reliability king. Why nobody wants it? Buyers reach for the BMW 3 Series for the badge. The TL, which mechanics buy for peace of mind, sits at prices that make the BMW comparison almost insulting to its engineering quality. What mechanics actually know, the J35/J37 naturally aspirated V6 has one advantage mechanics specifically value above almost everything else: no carbon buildup issues. Direct injection engines require periodic walnut blasting for intake valve deposits. The J series uses port injection. Fuel washes valves every combustion cycle. Carbon buildup is simply not a concern. For long-term ownership, that distinction is significant. Acura badge at the dealership. Honda parts pricing at the counter. SHAWD rear torque vectoring that European sport sedans charge premium prices to offer. Specific failures and how to check. SHAWD rear differential fluid service. The single most important verification on all-wheel drive TL examples. Frequently skipped, checked in 60 seconds. Non-negotiable. Front engine mount condition on higher mileage examples produces a specific vibration at idle when degraded. Visible during inspection. Straightforward replacement at any Honda independent. Status. Math, new, $38,000 plus. Now, $7,500 to $10,000. Before the top two, Carverse brings what's behind the garage door, not what's on the showroom floor. Subscribe and hit the bell. Car number 2, Mercedes-Benz C300W204, 2008 to 2011, the overbuilt survivor. Why nobody wants it? European maintenance anxiety applied indiscriminately to every Mercedes at used car pricing. Buyers applying W220-era horror stories to a completely different generation, creating prices that experienced mechanics recognize immediately as wrong. What mechanics actually know, mechanics privately call the W204 the last simple Mercedes. The M272 3.0-liter, naturally aspirated V6 with post-2008 production received the balanced shaft-bearing fix that addressed the primary early failure mode. Post-2008 W204C300, that concern essentially doesn't apply. The 7G-tronic transmission in this application is consistently identified by mechanics who work across multiple Mercedes generations as the most predictable gearbox Mercedes offered during this era. Specific failures and how to check: VIN, decode the build date first. Confirm post-2008 production before anything else. This single verification changes the entire ownership conversation. Check oil consumption history. Known piston ring wear pattern at extended mileage on the M272. Clean consumption records at 100,000 plus miles is a strong positive indicator. Confirm 7G-tronic fluid service every 40,000 miles. Most previous owners skipped it. This determines whether the transmission is an asset or a liability. Status math, new, $38,000 plus. Now, $8,500 to $10,000. Car number 1, Acura RLX, 2014 to 2016, the ultimate stealth wealth. Why nobody wants it? Nobody knows what this car is. Show a picture to most used car buyers, and they guess Honda Accord. Complete visual anonymity in a market where identity drives decisions. Commercially catastrophic. Mechanically extraordinary. What mechanics actually know, this is a Honda legend under the skin. The 310 horsepower J35 naturally aspirated V6, Honda's flagship naturally aspirated engine in its most refined application, tuned conservatively relative to its mechanical ceiling. Mechanics who work on Honda and Acura products consistently identify the RLX-J35 as one of the most overbuilt, naturally aspirated V6 applications they encounter. Beyond the engine bay layout is honest, accessible, logical, maintenance procedures that follow common sense, rather than requiring specialty tools buried under other components. Mechanics who work efficiently love an honest engine bay. The RLX delivers one completely. precision all-wheel steer, rear wheels turning slightly at speed, handling technology that European competitors charge significant premiums for, mechanically logical to diagnose, independently serviceable without exotic tooling, specific failures and how to check, rear differential fluid service on SHAWD examples, 60 seconds to verify, frequently missed by previous owners, non-negotiable before purchase. Precision all-wheel steer actuator inspection on higher mileage examples. Independent Acura specialists have efficient assessment protocols. Flagging this before purchase becomes negotiation leverage. High mileage examples, 80,000 to 100,000 miles, are the Carverse sweet spot. Previous owner absorbed the depreciation. The J35 has barely started working relative to its actual mechanical ceiling. Status math, new, $55,000 plus, now $9,000 to $10,000, 310 horsepower, Honda Legend engineering, complete market invisibility creating prices that make no rational sense. The car nobody knows exists. The Carverse goldmine hiding right in front of buyers who never look past the badge. The mechanic's buying checklist. 6 cars. The verification framework mechanics apply before handing over money. Check the fluid history first, everything else. Second, mechanics don't look at paint first. They pull the dipstick. Check the coolant reservoir. Look at transmission fluid color. Dark oil means extended intervals. Brown coolant means neglected system. Dark transmission fluid means the previous owner treated maintenance as optional. These checks take 2 minutes and tell the real ownership story. Parts commonality is the hidden discount. Every car on this list shares significant parts with mass-market vehicles. Volvo with Ford-era applications, Infiniti with Nissan, Buick and Acura with Honda, Mercedes W204 with the broader Mercedes parts ecosystem. Parts commonality means the badge on the hood doesn't determine the price at the parts counter. Mechanics understand this. Most buyers don't. The pre-purchase inspection is the transaction. For any car on this list, $150 to $200 for a brand specialist pre-purchase inspection is the most important money spent in the entire transaction. A specialist identifies the specific failure modes relevant to each platform in 30 minutes. Their assessment tells you whether you're buying a goldmine or inheriting someone else's problem. The garage door was always open. You just needed the key. Mechanics have an unfair advantage in used car buying. They see failure patterns across thousands of vehicles. They know which engines come back repeatedly and which ones they see once at high mileage for basic service and never again. The Volvo XC70 T6, off-road capable luxury tank with Ford-era parts pricing the market calls boring. The Infiniti G37 370Z engine in a sport luxury package the market forgot existed. The Buick LaCrosse, GM parts availability everywhere on earth underneath a badge nobody wants. The Acura TL, Honda's no-carbon buildup V6 in a sports sedan mechanics buy when they want to stop thinking about their car. The Mercedes C300 W204, the last simple Mercedes with a post-2008 balance shaft fix that changes the entire ownership conversation. And the Acura RLX, Honda Legend engineering wrapped in styling so anonymous that the market prices it as though the engineering doesn't exist. 6 cars, all bought by mechanics who looked past the badge and read the engineering. The garage door is open. Now you know what's inside. Which one are you buying? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Carverse has one more video on screen right now. Click it and I'll see you there.